Welcome, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to learn more about how you could use your Segal Education Award on an international adventure. My name's Crystal. I'm part of the campus team with HQ Travel Group, which is a New Zealand-based organization that connects folks with meaningful international volunteer and internship opportunities around the world. In a previous role, though, I was an AmeriCorps program manager here in the Twin Cities with Habitat for Humanity, and I am just delighted to have so many folks joining us today and wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much to all of the current members and alumni, AmeriCorps staff and supporters for your commitment and dedication to service. It's greatly appreciated, and I'm thrilled that you're here to learn more. So before we dive into the details of how to use the Education Award to travel abroad, I'll share a little bit about our organization and then walk you through the process. As I mentioned, HQ Travel Group focuses on connecting people with meaningful international travel opportunities. The way our model works is that we partner with local community organizations around the world who are best suited in their own communities to identify ways for folks to get involved in a meaningful, ethical, sustainable way. And we act as that connection point between someone who wants to go abroad and have that impactful experience with that local community organization that has the capacity, the expertise. Um, Local leadership is centered in these partnerships. And so it's a mutually beneficial partnership that we've set up. So we have more than 300 volunteer placements available in almost 50 countries around the world, as well as more than 300 internships in more than 20, as well as remote. So, regardless of what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, there's a likely a placement that's a good fit for you. And so we've been around since 2007, and we've supported more than 150,000 people on our programs over the years. So there's an extensive history. We aim to keep our fees as low as possible so that our programs are more accessible to more people. So they're affordable, they're flexible, and they're impactful opportunities. So I'll share just a little bit more with you before diving into how you could use your Ed Award to travel abroad. So it's very much a choose your own adventure with us. So you can apply for a program that speaks to you. You tell us where you'd like to go, how long you'd like to travel, when you'd like to start, and we'll work with our local partner to facilitate all of the logistics and the details. So most of our volunteer programs have a weekly start date. So pick a Monday throughout the year and let us know for how long you'd like to participate. It could be 1 week, it could be all the way up to 6 months. It just depends on your availability and the program. Positively impacting people and the planet is at the core of everything we do, and all of our volunteer projects align and support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We've, as I mentioned, been around since 2007, so we have 18 years of experience working with our local partners. We have really robust health and safety practices in place. So by traveling with us, you can feel you can trust our local teams will help to keep you as healthy and safe as possible on our programs. As I mentioned, we partner with local community organizations, so you have the opportunity to support community-run causes that you care about. You can travel with purpose while immersing yourself in a new culture. You don't have to be a particular age to join our programs. We have a lot of students, we have career changers. Our oldest volunteer last year was 90. We have families and teens, so kind of everywhere in between. So regardless of your kind of age and stage in life, you can feel confident that you'll join like-minded participants from around the world. Last year, we had over 125 nationalities join our program, so it truly is a global experience, even beyond the local community that you're learning about. And finally, our programs are responsible. So we're a certified B Corporation, which if you're not familiar with that, it's almost like a fair trade certification for a good, except it is assessing our business practices. So looking at our sustainability, our commitments in a wide variety of different areas that we're externally audited on every 3 years. So we were the first international volunteer company to achieve this status, and we're really proud to maintain it. We're also committed to addressing the climate crisis that we're currently facing. So our business operations are 100% carbon neutral. And we have policies and procedures in place to protect vulnerable populations and wildlife. So that's just a little bit about us and our commitments to making meaningful travel more accessible to more people around the world. As I mentioned, we aim to keep our fees as affordable as possible. So they start at $20 a day for our volunteer programs and $25 a day for our internships. And kind of key differences between the two, our volunteer programs are highly community driven. And so you might not know the exact details of what you'd be doing until you arrive. You could, for example, apply for a volunteer teaching position, but you might not know the population, the school, or the community center that you'd be placed at until you arrive. And the reason for that is it's based on need and capacity and a variety of other factors that our local team takes into consideration. They tend to be more half-day opportunities as well, so you can volunteer in the morning or afternoon and then leave the rest of your free time for exploring. Where our internships through Intern Abroad HQ are much more focused on the personal and professional development of the individual. So you apply for an internship on a particular career field. Our local team will review your resume, cover letter, your goals and expectations for the experience, and they'll source an internship that they think will be a good fit for you and for those goals. Those are full-time experiences. So the model is similar, but the experience looks a little different depending on what your goals are for your travel experience. So that's a little bit about us. And now I'll dive into the details of how you could use your education award to travel abroad on one of our programs. So as you may recall from your AmeriCorps training, your Segal Education Award is accessible through a Title IV institution. So the way that you could use your Ed Award to participate in one of our programs is through our partnership with Warren Wilson College. It's one of our schools of record that we've been working with the past few years on this program. So you would enroll essentially as a non-degree seeking student through Warren Wilson. The process is really similar or really simple, and we walk you through all of the steps. And you need to pursue at least one academic credit so that this is considered an academic program. And then I'll get into detail in a moment about what all can be covered through as an education cost. But just know that you do need to pursue at least one credit. If you're already finished with your undergrad, if completing credit isn't a goal of yours, it doesn't need to be onerous. One of our courses is based on the number of volunteer or internship hours that you complete, and then you would write some personal reflections alongside it. That said, if earning a higher amount of credit is a goal of yours, if you haven't attended undergrad yet, you would have the opportunity to earn up to a full semester's worth of credit for under $2,000 through Warren Wilson. So a really affordable way to earn a high amount of credit that you could transfer into a future degree. So you can choose the amount of credit and the coursework that you're interested in pursuing. So again, that starts at minimum one credit. So this can be considered an academic study abroad program. And there is an enrollment fee in order for Warren Wilson to process your education award to create a student account for you. It involves multiple different departments at the institution, the registrar's office, financial aid. And so that's what that enrollment fee goes to cover. And that said, setting aside at least $2,600 from your education award with the affordability of our programs through IVHQ and Intern Abroad HQ, you could go abroad for up to 6 months and still have everything paid for. That's based on this year's current full year award. So I mentioned earlier that our local teams will facilitate all of the logistics on your behalf, and that's included in the program fee that you pay, or your education award would cover. That program fee includes pre-departure training and support, managing all of the front-end logistics, preparing for your international experience, airport pickup, a program orientation, 24/7 emergency support in case there's something that you need while you're traveling. Of course, your volunteer or internship placement, meals if those are included in your destination. That will vary a little bit by destination. Most of the accommodation is shared either a volunteer or an intern house. There's homestays, there's semi-permanent huts on the beach. So it really depends on where you're traveling, what that accommodation looks like. If you're in a self-catered apartment, you're not going to have a private chef cooking meals for you. But if you're staying in a homestay, for example, 3 meals would be included in that program fee. And of course, your accommodation is included as well. Your education award can also cover your travel expenses, cultural learning experiences, essentially anything that you see on our website, you can use your Ed Award for on our program. So, for example, we offer somebody is leaving on Monday to go to Belize to be SCUBA certified. Somebody else is leaving on Monday to go to Cusco, and they're going to be exploring Machu Picchu and taking Spanish language lessons. So, you can have a look at our website to see if there's something that speaks to you that you're really interested in doing. Another alumni is leaving on Monday to go to the Great Barrier Reef and to do a volunteer marine conservation program. That's been on her bucket list for ages, and so she's now able to do that with her Ed Award. So anything you see on our website can be covered by the Ed Award, as well as travel expenses. So your flight, travel insurance, visa costs, a passport if you don't have one, as long as you have enough available in funding, that can be covered. As well as the airport drop-off, accommodation upgrades if you're interested in more of a private air accommodation instead of shared. So have a look at our website and you can get a better sense of how your funds could be used. I like to, when I'm talking with AmeriCorps alumni, I always encourage them use their education award however they best see fit. You all earned it. You worked very hard through your service term and were committed to assisting others. And so now is an opportunity for you to do something that you're passionate about. And so we'll work with you every step of the way to make it as seamless and simple of a process as possible. These are just some examples of how you could use an award. This is based on a full-time, full-term amount. You could go abroad and volunteer in Cambodia with a local NGO focusing on community development, health, human rights, environmental issues. You could do that for 6 months. You could complete an internship in Peru, and like I said, explore Machu Picchu in the Sacred Valley alongside gaining professional experience in one of 9 different career fields. Otherwise, you could also join a global service week. If you're interested in joining other like-minded Friends of AmeriCorps, we have opportunities for you to join a group. So we're calling them Friends of AmeriCorps Global Service Weeks in different destinations throughout the year. This is open not only to AmeriCorps alumni, but also to family and friends who are supporters of AmeriCorps, program staff, folks who maybe served in the past but no longer have an education award that would like to get out and do something meaningful. It's open to anyone who is a supporter of AmeriCorps. The amount for those who are using their education award is based on the halftime award amount. So that would allow you to participate in 2 of those weeks if that was of interest, or if you had the funding available, you could put it towards flight, travel insurance, the other expenses I highlighted earlier. If you're not using your education award, the cost is significantly lower to make it, again, more accessible to more folks. If you're not enrolling through Warren Wilson, if you're not pursuing academic credit, you can remove that cost from the amount. I'll share some more information with anyone on the webinar later on in case that piques your interest. Okay, I'll take a few minutes to walk you through next steps. So step one, and probably the most difficult of the whole process, is narrowing down where you'd like to go and what you'd like to do. As I mentioned, we have volunteer programs in 50 countries around the world, internships in another 20, and so there's endless opportunity for you. So I always encourage folks to visit our website and use our guided search tools. We have some handy filter features where you can input areas that you're passionate about or causes that you care about, career fields you're interested in pursuing. You can then select destinations that you're interested in traveling, and it'll share some recommendations for you. Also, I mentioned earlier, if you're interested in, say, private accommodation options, you can tick those boxes and it will help you to narrow your scope a little bit more. We're always happy to hop on a call and to discuss opportunities with you as well. So anytime, please feel free to be in touch with me. I'll share my contact information with you, or give our team a call. Again, they're based in New Zealand, so just be mindful of those hours. Your evening works really well for our colleagues there. So once you find the program that you're most interested in, at minimum, what you need to know is a start date, a duration, a project type, and a location. That can change. All that does by submitting an application is to connect you with the program manager who's the expert in that destination. So they can answer any logistics questions that you might have. You're not locked into that program at that stage, so if you're still considering options, not a problem. But we do ask that you include in your application that you are interested in using your education award, and that you're an AmeriCorps alumni so that we can be connected and we can walk you through the process. So step one is to submit a free application online. We encourage you to do this a few months in advance so that you have enough time to work through the next steps. Next would be to pay our registration fee or deposit. That's what comes to us as an organization to manage all of the front-end logistics. The program fee covers your in-country costs, and that's set by our local partner. By paying that registration fee or deposit, that will unlock all of the additional add-ons that might be available to you, and you can get started on working through your pre-departure checklists and preparation. So this is a reimbursable cost as long as you have enough available in your education award funding. And I would like to say too, if that paying that registration fee, which starts at $299, if that's a barrier, we can also work together to have your education award cover that on the front end. We just need a little more time. So as long as we're planning far enough in advance, we can work together on that. Once you pay that registration fee or deposit, we'll ask you to complete the enrollment form with Warren Wilson College. It takes about a minute. We facilitate the process, so it's not super onerous. And they collect all of the information they need to create a student account for you and to accept those education award funds. We'll also work together throughout this process on a budgeting tool together so that you can best understand how you're using your education award. And that's also what we use to prepare an invoice for Warren Wilson College. They will pay IVHQ, Intern Abroad HQ, directly for your program fee, your add-ons, the enrollment costs, academic credit. You don't need to front those fees. They'll pay us directly for them. So the only things that you need to be prepared to pay out of pocket are the registration fee or deposit, your flights. Both of those areas we can work together on. If it's a barrier for you, we can work together on using your education award to cover those costs. Otherwise, travel insurance, passport fees, any of those out-of-pocket allowable expenses, you would be reimbursed directly by Warren Wilson College. So you'd receive a check from them after you've transferred your Ed Award to your student account. We have all of this mapped out for you on how to submit your request, but once you know the amount that you're looking to transfer, you would log into AmeriCorps and you would submit an education award payment request there. So again, we'd work together on the amount so you understand how much you need to transfer. You would select that Warren Wilson College be the Title IV institution that you transfer it to, and you would select the term that you are looking to travel. And then from there, you prepare for the adventure of a lifetime. You would complete all of the pre-departure steps in your IVHQ or Intern Abroad HQ dashboard, and we would work together on any of those reimbursements that need to be made, and get you prepared for your time abroad. So again, once you submit that free application, as long as you mention that you're an AmeriCorps alumni and that you're interested in using your Segal Education Award, we'll walk you through all of the next steps. So you don't need to remember everything that I just said, but I will send out some follow-up information to anyone on the call today. So step one, visit our website, use those guided search tools, and figure out what you're most interested in. In terms of timing, again, we encourage you to be planning at least 3 months in advance. not more than a year in advance because it does need to line up with Warren Wilson's academic calendar. So just something to bear in mind for the timing. Okay, I'm going to go through a few FAQs. What if I've finished my degree and I'm not planning to transfer credit? Do I still need to participate in the course? Yes, in order to use your education award, it needs to have an academic component to it. So you do need to pursue at least one academic credit that starts at $5.99. You can pursue more if that's a goal of yours, but again, it doesn't need to be an onerous experience or task for you to complete that course. And we always encourage meaningful reflection anyway, of course, on our program. So you would need to complete that course. And if you don't complete the coursework, you would still receive a transcript as an incomplete. If you're interested in potentially pursuing more than one opportunity with your Ed Award, just note that having an incomplete could impact your future ability to use your Ed Award through Warren Wilson. So we encourage you to complete those reflections, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. So I have two Ed Awards. Can I go on two experiences and take the same course twice? Yes, you can complete the same course more than once. That's not a problem. And because you would already have a student account with Warren Wilson College, they've generously approved a 50% discount on your enrollment cost. So that would be an extra $1,000 that you could use towards a future experience. I love the idea of traveling, but don't want to go alone. Can I bring a friend or a family member along with me? Yes, we encourage you to invite others to join your program. As you learned earlier, our opportunities are open to anyone of any nationality and kind of age and stage. So if you have a friend, a partner, a family member, a grandchild, as someone that you want to travel with, provided that they meet the requirements of the program, then they're eligible to participate. We also have a dedicated group support team. So if you're wanting to team up with a group of fellow AmeriCorps members, we could organize something bespoke for you, or you could join a global service week, as I mentioned earlier. So that's a discounted week where you're joining other like-minded people. We have an opportunity coming up in Jamaica just the week after Thanksgiving. So I'll share some more details in a follow-up message here. Can I visit more than one destination using the same Ed Award payment request? Yes, you can visit more than one destination without paying that enrollment and academic credit fee more than once. You would need to pay more than one IVHQ or intern abroad HQ registration. You would need to do that for each destination, but you wouldn't need to pay that enrollment fee more than once. And so, yes, you can go to more than one destination as long as it's on the same itinerary. If it's split, if you're going on two separate trips, then you would need to make that enrollment payment more than once. The registration fee, flights, in-country costs are a barrier. Is there any way for those to be covered? Yes, as I mentioned, as long as there's enough time ahead of your travels, we can work together for those out-of-pocket expenses to come from your education award. So that would be more of a one-on-one conversation. So I'm happy to walk you through what that process would look like. But it could cover the initial registration fee or deposit, meals or transportation not covered by the program fee, as well as a refundable airfare. So, of course, a refundable ticket will cost more than a non-refundable would. And so it's something to bear in mind that more would come out of your Ed Award if you're working with us on booking your travel on your behalf. What if I'm currently serving but have a partial award from a previous term? Can I pay some now and some later? Yes, if you'd like to use a previous award to cover that enrollment fee and a registration fee now, and you're currently serving, looking to travel in the future, we've worked with alumni on that in the past as well. So not an issue for us to have more than one invoice to get everything covered. We'll work together on that. What about timing? What if my Ed Award is expiring soon? What if I haven't received it yet? How does that all work? So if your education award is expiring soon, again, we can facilitate the process quicker than 3 months. We would just encourage you to follow all the steps, and we would work with you on that. I mentioned earlier that the timing, you would need to plan within 12 months of transferring your Education Award to Warren Wilson College because it needs to align with their academic calendar. If you don't have your Ed Award yet, you can still get started on the process. You can still apply and you can still pay that registration fee and get started on your pre-departure materials. Once your Ed Award lands in your account, which typically takes a few weeks after you exit the program, then you can transfer it to Warren Wilson and we can move forward. So the other option is if you're traveling soon or wanting to travel sooner than that 3 months, you can also choose to pay the program fee and all the costs up front and then be reimbursed by Warren Wilson, provided that your Ed Award has been transferred to them before your travel. So that's a possibility that folks have done in the past as well. I'm 55 or older. Can I transfer my Ed Award to a dependent so my child or grandchild could join a program? Yes, absolutely. If you have more than one award, you could transfer even one to them and you two could travel together. That's an option for you to consider. So we also do have programs that are open to independent teens. So it's an option for your child or grandchild as long as you meet the requirement to transfer. Okay, that's it for FAQs. I invited an AmeriCorps alumni named Dana Mitchell to join us today, but she unfortunately couldn't make it. She did share with me a video about her experiences, so I'll go ahead and share Dana's experience with you. And in the meantime, please be thinking of any other questions that you might have, and I'll take a look at the chat and we'll answer questions from there. So here is Dana.
Hi, I'm Dana Mitchell, and I am here to tell you about this amazing opportunity with IVHQ and traveling abroad for volunteer services. So, I am an alumni through AmeriCorps AMPAC reading program. I serviced for 2 years and received the Segal Award. And with that, I had questions about how can I use this educational award if I don't want to go back to school or take any of the other offerings that they say we can use it for. Well, we had a presentation for IVHQ and it was a no-brainer. Everything that IVHQ describes and how they explain things to you is exactly what it will be. So one of the questions I was asked was, what inspired me to use my AmeriCorps Education Award for an international volunteer program with IVHQ? And I will say that the amazing opportunity to travel to an array of places beyond my imagination. I mean, South America, Central America, the Caribbean, it was endless. And so with that, I decided if I can use my educational award this way to immerse myself into a different community in a different country and to help children read, to help them with their education, that would be amazing for me. And no, you're not limited to education. There's so many other things that you can do, which I'm sure they explained. So my inspired motions pretty much came from just having an opportunity to travel abroad, do something that made me feel really proud about my servicing volunteer opportunity, and being able to have just a little bit of an opportunity to vacation or travel. That's what inspired me. The next question was, how would I describe the overall experience from the planning, from preparation, and being on the ground in Jamaica? Jamaica, first of all, is an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing country that is very green. So I love that. Planning and preparation through IVHQ, if you follow exactly what they tell you to do, it's seamless. The back office is very easy to read. It's very easy to follow, but you do have to be timely from the moment you decide where you want to go and the date you would like to travel. Please make sure you're progressively checking your emails and going to your back office to do everything they ask you to do. Everything's so much easier when we follow instructions, right? That's the teacher in me. What ways did my IVHQ experience align with or build upon my passion for service and time with AmeriCorps? Because I was a reading tutor and I worked with children, the opportunity to work with children in a different country, it just spawned my emotions for wanting to do more, wanting to service beyond my own community and my own country. Being able to align with others and just know how they're living, their opportunities, what types of schools they had in Jamaica, and how they were learning, how the students accepted the type of teaching that I had the opportunity to do here was important for me because it helped me grow and know that my teaching wasn't just limited to my four walls and what I already created for myself in my life. It taught me that I can be universal. And so lastly, what would I say to others considering using their education award on an international volunteer experience? I would say, if you're thinking about it, move past your thinking and progressively read all of the information that IVHQ has to offer. I went to and I read Google reviews. I read, the other reviews that are online about it. Yes, you will get some reviews that aren't very favorable. But to that, I want you to keep in mind most of the time reviews are built on one's own experiences, and your own experiences include your portion in what you're responsible for doing. So I would say run, do it. It will grow you. It will make you much more appreciative of the gift that you're carrying inside for service. And it will allow you to service outside of what you could even ever imagine, especially in a beautiful place that is surrounded with wonderful people who want us to immerse ourselves into the community so that we can go away with an appreciation of what others are doing and how they're living. Being able to, experience the food and the culture is a privilege, and you should be able to do that. So with that being said, I'm not going to hold you long because it's so easy for me to talk about such an amazing experience. I hope that you all decide to go and take advantage of this very, very significant opportunity. If you have any questions, you can feel free to email me. They have my information, and I will be glad to answer any questions you have. Enjoy.
All right. Thank you to Dana for her insights. As I mentioned earlier on the call, there are opportunities to join other Friends of AmeriCorps. So the next Global Service Week will be in Jamaica the week after Thanksgiving. And like I said, that's set to the halftime award amount for those using their education award. Otherwise, it's $12.50 for those who are joining without using their award. So feel free to be in touch if that's of interest to you. And finally, thank you so much for your attention today, for your great questions that I saw throughout the chat. Please feel free to unmute if you have any questions now that you would like to ask, or feel free to input those in the chat as well. As I mentioned earlier, we will be in touch with anyone who joined today. We'll share the slides, we'll share the recording with you, but please feel free to get in touch with me as well. Thank you all so much for your kind comments and for your questions and your engagement today. I'm really grateful for you taking the time out to learn more about how you could use your Ed Award to travel. And we hope to keep in touch as time goes on. Like I said, we'll share follow-up information with you all. So please don't hesitate to be in touch if you'd like to schedule a call or if you have any follow-up questions.